Good morning and happy 4th of July, everybody out there in the tubes of the U. Jonathan Rubin. Hi, all. What's up, Jonathan? Happy 4th of July. What is this march? This march is called, let me look, because I just uploaded it. It's called The Victory March by Grant Newman. It's available on Epidemic Sound. I don't know if you guys can hear me because the volume of the march is kind of loud. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit so we can chat. Well, that's too low. How's that? Is that better? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Happy 4th of July. If you are watching this on the replay, there is the countdown for you, so you can always fast forward. But I want to welcome everybody in. As you're coming in, if you don't mind hitting that like button so we get the stream out to as many people as possible. And I do have an awesome special guest on this happy 4th of July today. So that's very cool. What did I just hit? What did I just hit? Whoa. My screen is going blank on me, and I don't know why. Hopefully we're still broadcasting. I don't know what happened. There we go. Something might be going on with StreamYard. I'm not really sure. My StreamYard tab is frozen. I don't know if you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, say something in the comments because on my end, it's kind of weird. I'm going to try. If you guys can hear me, you can hear me. Okay. So I'm actually having to read this from my tablet because my StreamYard tab on my computer is frozen. I don't know what the heck is going on there. It's very, very strange right now. So I do apologize for technical difficulties, everyone. All right, I can see my StreamYard tab, but nothing is updating on it, and I can't click around on it. It's very, very strange. Lou, if you can hear me, I will try and bring you in when I can, but something odd is going on with my StreamYard tab, and I don't know. There is a legitimate possibility. If you're out there listening, I may have to restart. This whole screen because I don't know what's going on. I can't. Like, nothing on the StreamYard tab is letting me click anything. And I've never had a technical issue like this before. And I'm afraid to hit refresh because I don't know what'll happen. Yeah, I'm definitely live in the world. It's really weird. Guys, if I have to restart this stream, which I may have to create a whole new stream in order for this to work. If I do, please come back in and check in because we may have to just start this whole thing over again. Because I don't know. I'm gonna hit refresh when that 10-second timer happens, but I don't know if that'll mess up. I can't click on anything on my screen right now. I'm just letting you guys know. I can't even click on refresh. I'm going to try something else. I know the countdown timer had to start over again is because I am trying something because I don't know that I have a choice in doing this any other ways. So hello, everybody. I know this is a little bit weird and different, but we are having some technical difficulties, and I have had to jump around to a whole different browser. So, yeah. Let me see if I can make this work. Lots of technical difficulties here on the 4th of July. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's a Google issue or something. But yes, I'm having to find everything completely differently than before. Okay. All right, so now we are... Hopefully everything is okay, and I'm kind of looking over my tablet. All right, we are really, truly going to start. Let me see. It looks like the countdown stopped here for a second. We'll be having internet issues back here today, but the 2-minute countdown that should be real. Coming up. All right, so go back over here. I think we've got everything at least fixed to where I can see. Yeah, it's kind of a mess. We had some serious issues on my end. I couldn't click around to anything, but I think I've got that fixed now. So hopefully that is the case. And we're going in 2 minutes. Sorry for the delay, but we will be going in 2 minutes. I can hear better now. Thanks for continuing in the chat, everybody. Hope that you are enjoying the music. Hello, Tiffany. Let's see who all do we have in here? We have James Dosher. We have my beautiful wife, Virginia Bradley, who knows how bad I am about freaking out when there's a technical issue like that. Yeah, I don't handle those things well. I try to stay calm, and I'm like, no. Because I'm one of those people who my mind just sets like, okay, as long as everything's working, it's fine. But man, there's a lot of things that when you're doing a StreamYard show, you have to click on and click around. And as it turns out, if you can't click anything, you can't do the show. It's kind of weird. True story, though. So happy 4th from the Bud Files. That Sue D.L. Findle is in the house. We have Dylan Soup. Hey, Dylan. Happy 4th of July. Dylan Soup and James Dosher is here, and Jonathan Rubin is here. Dan's Life is the Kingdom has come in. Happy 4th of July. 80s man. the British have taken over your stream. Yeah, maybe that is what happened. I don't know, man. It was a mess for a little bit there, but in 14 seconds, we are going to get going here. We'll take the ticker off the screen. We'll go back to the brand. See, this is me. I'm actually telling you what I'm clicking around here to get to everything. And there's the music that has stopped running. So now we are going to hit the intro. Welcome to the show, everybody. Happy 4th of July here. Let me take off the... I always forget to take off the last comment so that we can then go over. This is me. I'm telling you like what I'm clicking, and here we go.
3, 2, 1, live. Cool.
Welcome back, Fun Fam. And if you're brand new to the channel, welcome in to follow the Bradley's Fun on the 4th of July. My name is Ronnie Bradley. I hope that wherever you are, you're having a phenomenal day on this 4th of July. That is the day we're talking about. We are here today, and my gosh, boy, did we have some technical issues. So at the end of the stream, when it little pop, there's something that pops up on the StreamYard and said, how did it go? And I'm going to be like, not so well, StreamYard. You froze. Yeah, the whole thing froze up on me, and I couldn't click anything on my end, which means as the show host and producer and director and everything, I couldn't produce. So, oh, golly. Let's see who we have in the house this morning. We've got Happy 4th from Jonathan Rubin. Says Happy 4th of July. My beautiful wife, Virginia Bradley, is waving her pink hands. And we've got, she loves the intro. We've got VJ Max Gamer. Hello, VJ Max Gamer. I think I saw Canadian Family Life in the house. Oh, Dan's Life with the Kingdom is here. All good, working a lot better than Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Well, that might be true. I mean, I'm not dropping any logs, so that's good. No, I did not act like Kenny Rogers when my teleprompter went out. Although, let me tell you, I have had to work on that, and I'm glad I didn't get famous, because I probably would have been one of those guys if nobody had, kept me in check, and everybody was a yes man to me, because that's what happens with those guys. A lot of those guys, they get famous, and then like everybody becomes a yes man to them. So that is it. So hello, Elf and Canadian Family Life. But speaking of everybody else that I'm welcoming in, I have to welcome in a special guest that we have for today, and that is Mr. Lou Wasserman's ghost. Welcome
I'm not
in.
that special. I'm just some guy, like Zaphod.
Well, I was so special when I was younger. I walked, rode in a little bus to school. So, oh man, how are you doing today?
I don't know yet. Ask me in a couple hours when I wake up.
Yeah, that is how I feel, man. I'm getting to that point in my life where it takes me, I want to say 3 or 4 hours to wake up.
Well,
like
it all
really
depends,
get awake, and then I have a few good hours of energy. And I started to work out this week. And I hopefully will get a workout in today, but that is also very, very difficult for me. It was 15 years ago. It was a lot easier than it is now. That's for sure.
Native Hawaiian.
You got any? You got any special plans for today? Later on, Luke?
Your wife asked that in the chat. I saw somebody said hot dogs and you, meaning being with you, but
yeah,
I don't know, not really. I mean, the usual stuff. I do, I'm doing the big show at noon, because
okay,
one of our leading, what shall I call him? One of our leading leaders and contributors is strep-throated out today, and so resting voices. So mine never rests.
Which
I don't know if I'm supposed to say. That's why I walked around it.
No, you're fine. Is it Pro at noon? Is it that Park Place or Pro at noon?
That Park
or
Place.
Is it Midnight's Edge? Yeah. At Park Place.
No,
okay.
At Park Place. And obviously I'm here with you, and culture sneaks in between, and it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. What can I say?
It's a great, big, beautiful. I haven't had a chance to raid this into Culture's show, but that is what it's supposed to do, is to raid into Culture's show. But my technical issues have prevented me from doing a lot that I would have wanted to do this morning. Sometimes I have to set those things up late. I know Culture doesn't post until a little bit later, so sometimes it takes me later into the day to get into his show. But I have a question for you, because I think you were working in Hollywood at the time that this came out. I saw something yesterday, and it's from the 1980s era. Well, it's new, actually. It's brand new, but it's a throwback to the 1980s era. Is that the era in which you were very actively working?
Oh, I lose track, but let's see. I was class of 71 in high school, and then I went to USC, and then I got in the biz. And so, yeah, from the 80s and the 90s and, into the early 2000s.
Well, I imagine that you're probably familiar with a little movie that came out back then called Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, they've got the new one happening now. There's been a lot of interviews online from everybody and their brother doing their 10-minute setup with the stars. But
I haven't.
And I grew up in Beverly Hills. That was my city hall in that movie. So
there you go. Those were your cops. The Beverly Hills cops were your cops.
Absolutely. And that building, the police department, the city hall, and right next door was the fire department. Remember, the city of Beverly Hills is only about 6 square miles, smack dab in the middle of LA. Yeah. But its own police, its own fire, its own water, its own to some degree,
its own zip code.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, there's a couple of zip codes: 90210, 90212, which the show 90210 shot in Manhattan Beach, if I remember right, at a disused high school there. So,
I saw this yesterday. Beverly Hills. Of the first three, like 1, 2, and 3, what would you is the best of those three?
Oh, I always think the first. And I saw Eddie being interviewed and saying he thought the second was a loser, but the third was a pretty good. So I don't know.
I always thought, my personal opinion is that number 1 and 2 were actually pretty good. Number 3 was the one that was not quite as good. It was just kind of a little strange for it going to, I think it went to Six Flags Magic Mountain. I don't think they called it that in the movie, but that's, I believe, where it filmed.
It was Magic Mountain, but I don't think it was Six Flags yet. Six Flags bought it later. Magic Mountain started out as an independent thing. That whole part of the San Fernando Valley, which is LA County, but wasn't a city, got incorporated as a thing called Santa Clarita. And the land company, the New Hall Land and Farming Company, built this model city called Valencia. And when they did, they built Six Flags originally. Or Six Flags, Magic Mountain.
Magic Mountain. Yeah, I know a few years ago, there were some people on, I don't know, it was trending, like a Santa Clarita diet. I don't know if it was something about eating.
Oh, I don't know. No,
that was a Drew Barrymore show.
but it was Valencia, Newhall, Saugus, and what was the fourth one? I forget. But anyway, they were all just, and in fact, it's funny because you understand LA County is huge. It's about 450 square miles, and it extends all the way up there. But that northern end of the county was always kind of the dumping ground. You know, there were literally dumps up there and a couple of prisons for young offenders. And but then they started building these fancy houses. And I actually lived there for a while. And when I was looking for a place up there, I saw an ad, and it was on some street called Weeping Willow Drive or something prosaic like that. So I had about a 2-year-old copy of the famous Thomas Guide map book, and I couldn't find that street anywhere. I get up there, I find the house. It was nice. But then I look in the older Thomas Guide. Weeping Willow Drive was renamed. Originally, it was called Trash Canyon Road. But you can't sell many $500,000 houses on Trash Canyon Road. I don't know why that is.
That's probably a good idea that they renamed that from Trash Canyon Road. That is funny.
That northern end of the county was always sort of empty for a long time. And like I say, it was just dumps and prisons and landfills. And then it got nicer. But that's where Magic Mountain is. In fact, as a kid, I actually, whoops, what's going on there? An Amber Alert.
Uh-oh. Is that just a California one?
Not California. I'm not in California anymore. But
that's right. You're somewhere elsewhere in the world.
Right. But anyway, I was going to say, I actually attended the grand opening of Magic Mountain.
Magic Mountain? Oh, cool.
Because interestingly enough, talk about full circle here in 6 degrees, it was a benefit. My mother bought tickets and took us for the Jules Stein Eye Clinic. And if you don't know what that was, Jules Stein is the guy that founded MCA and was Lou Wasserman's mentor and boss. But he got in showbiz as a side business originally when he was in college, going to college to be whatever it is. I was confused.
Optometrist?
No, but not a glasses guy, a surgical kind of guy.
Oh, ophthalmologist.
And he needed extra money in college, so he started booking bands for school band concerts and dances. And he was suddenly booking people like Tommy Dorsey and big names. And so he decided he needed an impressive name, so he called himself the Music Corporation of America. And one thing led to another, and they became a big agency, and then the agency bought Universal. And there's a lot more to that story, but full circle, there I am at the Jules Stein Eye Clinic benefit opening of Magic Mountain, little knowing that someday I'd be pretending to be Lou Wasserman's ghost. So, but
very interesting.
Yeah, it was. Well, actually, if you want to see it in the
wait a second, are you trying to tell me that you're not actually Lou Wasserman's ghost?
Not even slightly. No, I haven't got that kind of inheritance. But but I was going to say, if you want to see what Six Flags Magic Mountain looked like in its prime, get the movie Roller Coaster, which is one of the ones we did on the Genre Guys recently at my insistence, because it's a great movie with George Segal and Henry Fonda and Timothy Bottoms as a guy who is blowing up roller coasters for ransom. And it's a lot of fun. Some people have said it's a Hitchcock movie without Hitchcock, all based around theme parks around the country. And the big finale is at Magic Mountain. So there's that.
There is that. Oh, look at that. There are so many things that I'm sorry, I'm looking at my backstage area, and there's just all kinds of things that
I'll tell you what's changed a lot as far as theme parks is when I went to that premiere, I remember thinking, wow, this is great. But it was they waited till the last minute to plant the trees and the flowers, and it was pretty sparse because it was out there in the hot, dry valley.
Yeah.
And it took it a few years to grow in, whereas now you go look at some of these bioreconstruct shots of Epic Universe, for example, and they've got all the trees in, and they've been in for 6 months so that they get filled out, in time for the opening.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that that's the great thing about most companies learn over time how to improve their product And for some reason today, there's one company that seems to have not learned that lesson as good as they maybe should have.
Well, when you think you know everything, when you think you know everything, you don't feel like you have to learn, right? That's their
I
disease.
suppose. Oh my
Hubris
gosh.
is their disease.
The great, and I guess that's true because one of the things I've noticed, and this is just a cycle. This is like on a more personal level, is that a lot of stars become stars when they're very humble, right? And they interact with their audience, and they're they're very down to earth, and something can happen to them over time as they blow up and become big. And I don't know if it's like maybe there's a fear factor there or whatever, but they kind of shut themselves off, and or they just think too much of themselves. I had a drama teacher. I was telling my wife last night, I had a drama teacher in high school. She said, if you ever, become a professional actor and you make it big, make sure you never believe anything they read about you, because whether it's bad or whether it's good, it doesn't matter, because it's probably not true.
That's for sure. That's for sure. I think it was Gertrude Stein said about Hollywood. She said, behind all the fake tinsel, there's real tinsel. So, tinsel. Tinsel has some properties that are not good for making movies, by the way. I remember one time on a show I was doing, they decided, the camera crew, to decorate the cameras and the dollies with Christmas decorations. And the tinsel acted like chaff. It disturbed the radio frequencies coming off the cameras. We couldn't get the signal, so we had to tear it all off. So there you go.
Oh, no.
Anyway.
Well, back to Beverly Hills Cop,
yes.
Going back from the third one that shot at Magic Mountain. This particular one, you probably haven't seen it yet. But the reason I'm putting it up here is because I think for those people that are staying in and maybe want to watch a fun movie on the 4th of July, I watched this yesterday. And for me, this was nostalgia done right. Maybe the best way for me to put it. I really enjoyed it. I'm not a movie critic. I don't watch movies from a critical point of view. I just watch them from an entertainment point of view. Am I entertained or am I not entertained? And I was definitely entertained by Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. It's only available on Netflix right now. It's not something you can go to the movie theaters for, which I almost think was a mistake in this case, because I had such a good time with it.
It says now in theaters on that picture.
Oh, is it? Maybe
with the Fandango logo.
Oh, it does say now in theaters.
So I don't know, but
maybe it was a dual release on.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so they do have it in theaters. If they would not have dual released this, I might have gone to the theater to see it. But now that I've seen it, I'm not going to go to the theater afterwards, because it's just not. It's good enough to watch in the theater the first time and then go back and watch it at home. But if I can have it at home, there's no reason for me to.
So that's the way I feel. I admit it. I'm lazy, and my popcorn's better.
Yeah, I mean, true.
But
we did go see Despicable Me 4 yesterday. I don't.
And
really
what did you think? Because Pro was greatly disappointed.
Yeah, I wasn't disappointed. I mean, my son loved it. There are so many jokes that, and as an 11-year-old, he really enjoyed. And the thing is, I was thinking of it this way. It looks to me like what they did is they projected the fact that their audience watching this may have started out back in the day as 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, and now they've grown up a little bit. I think they made it a little bit. They tried to gear it more towards that audience that's grown up with Despicable Me, so it's a little bit more sophisticated in that sense. But was it absolutely astounding and great and jaw-dropping and all that? No, but it falls right into the line of the other Despicable Me movies.
I would not want to preclude people going to watch his review in detail. It just went up this morning. But his opinion was, he said, in all the other movies in the series, somebody sort of learned something. There's kind of not a heavy-handed, but a moral of the story, and that this didn't have that sense of a journey from A to B by anybody. And he found that disappointing. But he was talking about it in the context of everybody thought, oh, this is going to be Inside Out 2 killer. He says, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I don't know. It'll probably be same level, maybe.
Yeah.
It could be. I don't know that it will surpass the box office of Inside Out 2. They did really well with that movie. But
well, of course, the only thing it will do is take away the big screen and prime theaters.
Yeah.
Because
here's what I'll say about it. I'll say that both Inside Out 2 and Despicable Me are movies that are safe for you to bring your kids to without feeling as a parent like they might be indoctrinated into something you're going to feel uncomfortable with as a parent. There's none of that in
no drag queens in a Disney movie. How is that possible?
No, and as a matter of fact, that might be the next thing that we talk about. I was telling you beforehand, I don't love covering this. And I'm going to try to do it without any sound. No. All right. So we'll skip it for today on the 4th of July. We'll just we'll keep celebrating the 4th. Might be a better way to go. I will talk about it for those in the audience. Yeah. For those in the audience that are listening, just so you know, because you might watch this on a replay or whatever. This has to do with James O'Keefe and some tapes that he's been releasing about this. I don't know why they call them tapes. Are they even tapes anymore? Whatever. Yeah. But it's some information about how, let's just say, how Disney management is handling some things today. And we'll leave it at that. But I will be covering that on a future show. So. But in the meantime, what we really want to talk about is just, the different 4th of July celebrations that are available throughout the country. Ozark Matt and I talked last night. There's a thing in St. Louis called the VP Fair. It used to happen. It doesn't happen now, but it was fireworks down. It may have been the most grand 4th of July celebration for a period of time in maybe the late 80s and early 90s. I don't think it's the same now by any means. Trying to see.
Well, of course, a lot of them have gone away for various reasons. Some of them kind of a shame. For example, when the Park Service decided to not do it at Mount Rushmore for more or less political reasons, that certainly upset a lot of people. I know I was reading that here where I am in an undisclosed location, that there used to be a big one. I only moved here 6 years ago, so I never saw it. But that they're talking about maybe bringing it back. So we'll see. But, I think unhappily, a lot of people have come to the conclusion that somehow being patriotic is, I don't know, jingoistic or wrong in some way. And I don't think so. I
don't think so because, we celebrate patriotism for other countries as well. We celebrate St. Patrick's Day. We celebrate Cinco de Mayo. I will tell you that, celebrations like Bastille Day are not as big in this country by any means. I think Canada Day was the other day. I think we honor everybody's independence celebrations around the world. Some of them, I know my wife is from Venezuela and they celebrate their independence, and yet at the same time they're kind of dependent right now on their so it's I
read a story the other day. I don't know if she saw it, that violent crime is enormously down in Venezuela. Why? Because all the violent criminals came here. So
let's see. If you're in LA, go to Sunset Boulevard right near the Sunset Tower Hotel.
Yeah,
you can
that's
see
true.
All the fireworks being set off
somewhere along that hillside. You can see it.
So
Sunset Tower Hotel, for those who don't know, is the model for the Tower of Terror. It's the original hotel that is based on. Not
which
that
is
it
not
had
the
any
same
backstory.
Not the same as the Hotel California, which I have.
No,
I remember
Hotel California. Yeah, it's the picture, but the real Hotel California that the song is about is the State Mental Institution in Camarillo.
That makes more sense.
That's why you can check in, but you can never leave. Because
well,
it was a famous place for a lot of famous rock and roll people to go dry out from their drug trips. So that's where it got into the lexicon as the Hotel California among people in the music business.
Yeah, it's just when I was out there one time, and I can't remember was it Santa Monica or I remember driving down the street and like seeing right in front of me a white hotel building that said Hotel California.
They just took the name. That's not
okay.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with the song whatsoever.
There was the Hollywood Hotel, which was kind of famous. That was right next door to where Grauman's Chinese is, but that's been gone a long time. And if you go see the movie Hooray for Hollywood, with I think it's trying to remember whether it's Tommy Dorsey or I think it's Tommy Dorsey's band, and that's where the song comes from. Is that they're going to Hollywood to go perform. And, that's the one with the great lyrics about you may be homely in your neighborhood, but if you want to be an actor, see Mr. Factor. He'll make your kisser look good. Go on and try your luck. You may be Donald Duck. Hooray for Hollywood. So
hooray for Hollywood. Interesting. Well, what I was going to say about this, what did they say? Go and Shogi says, Lou, you have no idea how close to an actual Tower of Terror it is.
Yes.
From
a crumbling edifice, to say the least.
From my perspective, where I live in Orlando, we oftentimes just watch fireworks from our home because we can go up to the third floor, and around the horizon, we are literally 100% surrounded by fireworks show. I can look off this direction and see SeaWorld and Universal. Disney is on the other side of the trees. There's fireworks, always people setting off fireworks in our neighborhood. So we have fireworks on different horizon levels, very close to us as well as very distant. So it's like we just don't have to go anywhere, and we get a great fireworks show. Unfortunately, on New Year's Eve, we can't go to sleep because they're setting them off till 2:00 in the morning. So.
Yeah, well, they were last night. I was on a show with somebody, and they were going off outside, and the people on the stream said, "Jesus, that gunshot? Are you okay?" And no, it's just people a day early. Yeah, well, that's true where we used to live in LA because we were up high, and we used to have friends when I was a kid. As a family, we went on a cruise and got friendly with this other family that lived in Fullerton. Now, Fullerton is basically to the north of Disneyland and is up on a hill, at least their house was. And they used to invite us to go there for dinner and watch the fireworks from Disneyland out of their backyard. So that was kind of fun. And it wasn't that close. It was all downhill and very clear and easy to see.
Jeremy says Fair at St. Louis. Oh, Fair St. Louis is what it's called. Still the VP Fair, new name, Fair St. Louis concerts, fireworks still every year at the Arch. I remember that was the first time at the VP Fair many, many years ago, the first time I ever saw Bill Cosby in person before he had the current reputation he had now. I used to say when I was doing stand-up comedy, that was before the whole thing debacle happened with Bill Cosby. I did a lot of Bill Cosby impersonations, and I always said that he if he would have run for president back then, he might have gotten elected at that time because of his popularity. Because before all the stuff happened that we know of has happened, he was pretty darn popular.
Don't doubt it. It was happening because I know people who it happened to.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
it sucks.
But I'll tell you something. Having seen him, did you ever see him perform live as a comedian?
Yeah.
I mean, I got to tell you, of everybody in that business, he was the best, in my experience, at making it all look like it was spontaneous and he was just thinking of it when he said it, which was untrue. It was all very, very well rehearsed. But he had the ability to make that look just naturally. Oh, and by the way, I just thought of something, when it was obviously planned very carefully.
I want to talk a little bit real quick about what is going on for those people who are watching, specifically for what happens in Orlando on the 4th. Celebrate a fantastic 4th of July. I don't want to sign up for email updates. Let me click off of that. This is a picture of some resort somewhere. Light up the sky with fantastic fireworks.
Grand Orlando Resort, Bonnet Creek, says down there.
Oh, that's okay. So that one's a Disney. The Grand Orlando Resort at Bonnet Creek. Light up the sky with fantastic fireworks and more festive ways to celebrate the 4th of July in Orlando. Every night calls for fireworks. That's true. I mean, that's what's so funny about it. You get fireworks every night. So they're just like, oh, more special fireworks. We really crackle on Independence Day from the theme parks and beyond. Here's your guide to 4th of July events. So you've got basically, there's events all over any of the theme parks. This one's big at Lake Eola, the Walt Disney Amphitheater at Lake Eola Park. Unless otherwise noted, all Independence Day events are scheduled for the 4th of July. Fireworks at the fountain at Lake Eola Park, that is downtown Orlando. Take the party downtown for one of Orlando's most beloved Independence Day celebrations, fireworks at the fountain. The festivities kick off at 4 p.m. with live entertainment, family-friendly fun, food and drink available for purchase, followed by a spectacular 9-10 p.m. fireworks finale over Lake Eola.
What is an epic paddle adventure, or do I not want to know?
Epic paddle. Where are you? Well, I'm trying to see where you're reading the epic.
Right after.
Epic. Oh, there it is. Yes. Okay. So
epic paddle adventure sounds like something we'd not cover on a family channel to me. But hey,
my guess is it's kayaking, like some type of
okay.
because they do kayak paddle. I know they have paddle. Or could be the paddle boats, which they have the Swan paddle boats down there as well. So you might be able to go out on a paddle boat, like rent a paddle boat, and then you're actually on the lake in a paddle boat when the fireworks go off. So I know my wife and I have done the paddle boats down there before, so that's fun. So it's not like the same paddling that I got in my school in Arkansas.
I was going to say, you don't look at the fireworks and say, "Thank you, may I have another?"
But yes, look. So now
But talking about fireworks from a boat, not to interrupt your stream of Orlando stuff. Before Fantasmic basically closed the river at that hour, at Disneyland for years, it was a sort of secret menu, if you will, that you had to know about. You would go to the Mark Twain and ask them, "What time is the fireworks cruise tonight?" And they'd tell you, and you'd get on the Mark Twain and it would go around the river to the spot where the Indian village is and stop. And that back there in the woods, just over the trees, is where the fireworks were launched from. And so you'd sit there, and at the right time, they would pipe the soundtrack for the fireworks show through the speakers on the boat. And in the total dark aboard the Mark Twain, you would watch the fireworks. And it was such an amazingly different experience than all the Main Street stuff with the castle in the background and all that, because it was like you were out in the woods a million miles from LA Orange County, and suddenly the sky erupted for your pleasure with the music.
That was very cool.
Every time I would go, every single time.
Now, if they did that today, they'd put it behind a $400 per person paywall and give you some tiny dessert bites.
That's true. That's true.
The closest I've ever been to the Disney fireworks, not necessarily on a holiday, but when I was working out there as a cast member, there were times I worked in the Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios when they were doing fireworks. So not right now, but I'm sure they'll do a fireworks show in the future. I have been close enough to the fireworks at Disney to have the debris fall on me.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, one time I was on the cast bus. When you're a cast member at Magic Kingdom, for those of you that don't know, you don't park at the Magic Kingdom. You park in a cast member parking lot. You pick up a bus at a bus station. It's about a half a mile away, and they drive you to the back of the Magic Kingdom. They don't count any of that time. You can't clock in then. You have to wait. You have to plan yourself so that you have to park and ride and everything. It takes about a half an hour to get into your position before you can clock in, but they don't give you that time. There might be some positions that do. I know them. Yeah, I didn't get paid for it. Anyway, point is, as I was taking the bus back to my car, it was during the fireworks, and the bus is literally going right by where the fireworks are shot off. So you're getting pelted. The bus was being pelted. You feel like you're driving through a war zone because it's just the shells are coming down, the empty shells and the cardboard, and it's kind of funny. I remember and at Hollywood Studios one time when I was backstage after the fireworks show, there was quite a bit of fireworks debris on the ground. And so I took pieces of the shells, and I'm like, maybe I can like later on sell this on eBay or something. I don't know.
Somebody would buy it.
Real piece of cardboard from a Disney fireworks show. But let's see. And then we're going to look at some of the
you talked about charging to watch from a vantage point. I'm surprised Disney hasn't framed those and put them out for sale. They sold all the light bulbs supposedly from the electrical parade after it closed at Disneyland. And then, of course, it came back. But I've got 2 or 3 of these a very fancy little cardboard box with one little light bulb in it that they charge, I don't know, $15-$20 for, something like that. Does
Disneyland have their nighttime parade right now or no?
I think so, but I don't know. I'm not there anymore, But
I know. Well, I mean, we don't have it
and of course, they shut down Fantasmic for a long time. It's just coming back, I think, right about now, because we burned the dragon down. But Fantasmic at Disneyland is so much better than Orlando because it's on the river, and it's not. Arena.
It is pretty cool what I've seen of that. I need to get out there and see it. On that note, I do want to get going here. Let everybody have the rest of their day and enjoy the 4th of July. I want to see. There's a couple comments I wanted to bring up at the. Let's see. The fireworks cruise sounds like something they would charge $100. Oh no, they charge way more for that these days. I think it's at least $250 per person for the fireworks cruise at Walt Disney World. Jeremy says, really enjoyed the 4th at City Walk Universal. Both parks shoot off fireworks simultaneously. That is true. And Magic Kingdom is good too, watching from the monorail loop hotels since the castle and lake fireworks. And what my family did last year is we had other family that were in town staying in a high rise outside of Walt Disney World. So we watched both the Epcot and Magic Kingdom fireworks, of course, obviously without their soundtracks, but we watched them from the top of that high rise and got a great vantage point and perspective for seeing both of those fireworks shows. So that was pretty fun. There's a lot of different ways. And by the way, there was another fireworks show going on behind us. So you can go from one set of windows on one side of the building, watch the Disney fireworks, go to another set of windows on the other side of the building, watch 2 other very close by fireworks shows. There is no shortage of fireworks.
And my favorite in the old days, back when we had Pleasure Island, was the every night New Year's fireworks show. You know about that? The different nightclubs. I'd always be at the Club, but every night at midnight, everybody would go out into the street and they'd have it's New Year's Eve with the ball dropping and fireworks every night. So
that's so cool. Yeah, Pleasure Island. I want to say it. So when I came here with my family, it was still open in 2006. I was living in Missouri at the time. I didn't live in Orlando. Went on a family vacation here, and Pleasure Island was still open, but we didn't really get much of a chance to enjoy it. So I always thought, well, I'll be able to enjoy it in the future. And then moved here in 2008, and it was closed down. I walked through the carcass of Pleasure Island and Adventure Club.
They kept a couple of the stores and restaurants open while they figured out what they were going to do with it, but the rest of it, the clubs all shut down. And the Adventurers Club was the greatest thing ever.
The Jessica Rabbit sign was still up when I moved here.
The neon thing.
But anyway, on that note, I hope everybody does have a great 4th of July. Thank you, Lou, for joining me. You got any plans?
My pleasure.
Let's see. You said you're going to be on other shows today. Go ahead and plug those.
Noon on that Park Place.
Okay, so
that what you could do for 4th of July, everybody, is watch a good classic all-American movie, whether it's a war movie or whether it's Meet Me in St. Louis or The Music Man or any of these all the musicals.
But he doesn't know the territory. I always wanted to be. That's one musical that I always wanted to be in. I never got to be in. I was in high school. Our guy who played the Music Man also later on played Tevye in The Fiddler on the Roof.
Boy, that's an ethnic switch.
Yeah. And in Fiddler on the Roof, I was not the main character, but I was the title character. I was the Fiddler on the Roof. I had no clue how to play a violin or a fiddle. Well, I had some Suzuki and second grade, but they wanted me because they needed somebody who could mime it in silhouette really well, and that's what I did. So I was the fiddler in Fiddler on the Roof.
That's an interesting credit and unique talent.
Yeah.
You would think you'd be in demand by companies of that show all around the country to come in and be the profile fiddler.
Well, I might have been back then. I'm not now. I did all kinds of fun things back then, like a lot of stage fighting and stuff, and other things that I'll save for other
choreographed sword fights for shows.
Yeah.
There was a show called Something's Rockin' in Denmark. It was a rock musical version of Hamlet. And I did all the props and choreographed the fight scenes, and that was a lot of fun.
We got a super here from Go and Shogi. Thank you so much. So very generous. Certainly unnecessary, but I definitely appreciate it. Says, go enjoy some July s'mores. And, for that, we got to do a little bit of a celebration.
Is it too much? Too much? It's the birthday!
Hey, this is just the best of my scene.
I don't even know where I got that music from. I just don't realize when I put that together. I like the music. I don't know where I got it from, but it's fun. I like it so much. Thank you so much, Go and Shogi. I appreciate that. And Virginia's saying bye-bye to everybody. So Lou and I will wish you a happy Independence Day, a happy 4th of July, everybody. And any last words?
It's deserving of celebration, everybody. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
It is. Happy 4th of July, and until tomorrow, we'll see you real soon. Bye, everybody. Ciao.